skies are crying tonight because we mark a very solemn, painful, powerful occasion. 50 years ago this evening was the last night of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. And that evening he gave a speech that defined his life's journey. I want to thank all of you for being here because your presence is part of continuing his dream.
Let us rise up tonight with a greater readiness. Let us stand with a greater determination. And let us move on in these powerful days, these days of challenge, to make America what it ought to be. We have an opportunity to make America a better nation.
Last night, New York City honored the 50th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s final speech. Mayor Bill de Blasio, along with police and the Parks Department, were on hand to light the arch in Washington Square Park, as audio of the "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech played throughout the square, addressing injustices to African Americans while calling for unity and nonviolent protests across the country. And while much of Dr. King's activism was concentrated in the South, from Montgomery, Alabama, where the historical bus boycott took place, to our nation's capital, where he delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, Martin Luther King Jr. also made a significant impact on New York City. As part of our ongoing Chasing the Dream initiative on poverty and opportunity in America, and thanks to a well-curated exhibit at the Museum of the City of New York, that impact is now tangible through a collection of photographs titled "King in New York" that traces the civil rights leader's encounters with the Big Apple from the 1950s until his assassination in 1968. And I'd like to welcome the curator of the exhibit, Sarah Seidman. Sarah, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Jenna.
So first tell me, how did you guys come across some of these photos?
So we wanted to do a show to commemorate King on the 50th anniversary of his death. And we had a hunch that he had a close relationship to New York, that he was here a lot. And then we started digging in a lot of different places, a lot of press photographs, private collections, as well as our own collection at the museum. And what we found was he was here a lot, and he did his presence in New York really provides an interesting lens through which we can view him in a kind of broader way. His civil rights work, of course, but how he related it to global issues. He spoke out against the Vietnam War on several occasions in New York City, really used the city as a stage to do so, talked to labor unions here. And so we begin the show with a sermon he gave at St. John the Divine in 1956 during the Montgomery bus boycott, when he was just becoming a national figure, and he spoke to 12,000 people there, and sort of just take it from there, how New York provides great media opportunities for King, and as the kind of gateway to the world, and provides a platform for him to speak about a range of issues, both local and global.
And I think that does speak to the way that we're sort of relooking at his legacy, because there was a lot of, union work and things that worked in conjunction with the civil rights movement.
Absolutely. I think as historians have done just amazing writing and research in the last 10, 20 years about the Black freedom struggle, and, work that has shaped me as a historian and a curator, I wanted to represent that in visual form, how the civil rights movement had a global scope, and how King denounced not just racism but militarism and materialism, and so to reflect so much of that important work that has been taking place in the last several years.
So how big is this exhibit that we're talking about? I mean, this isn't just a few photographs, correct?
No, it's over 40 photographs. We kind of pack them in, and it starts in 1956 at St. John the Divine, and then we go up. He spoke at Carnegie Hall in February 1968 to commemorate what would have been the 100th birthday of W.E.B. Du Bois, foundational Black thinker, of course, and activist. And it was a very, very interesting speech. And then we go beyond his death on April 4th, 1968, and look at the reception of his murder in New York City and how New Yorkers grieved, but also came together, to protest and commemorate him.
And for people who might be, students of Dr. King, but might not be able to get to this exhibit, will there be a way to see this perhaps online, or like if you come to the city at some later point?
For right now, it's only on the walls of the museum, so we'll have to bring everyone in that we can. But I do think there haven't been other exhibitions on this topic, and so I think it has been really exciting to bring together these photographs from really disparate sources, and so it would be amazing for them to live on together.
Absolutely, and especially I think if it adds to what we understand of an incredibly great and complex man. Listen,
Absolutely.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on the program, and especially thank you for this exhibit of King in New York.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.